I can see an innate desire, sword in hand, warriors side by side. I can feel it, it burns like fire. Worlds collide, an unstable landscape, side by side. But that's what this mandates. Be it might and unlikely allegiance, we will fight because that's the best defense. No turning back, for such is our path.
Services has a bundle for all budgets. You can be fully protected with emergency response for just $49.99.
Yo, 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 Braxcast live once again, and we've got Garfield in chat. Hail to you. Zay Comics is here as well. Thank you very much. And of course, Mike has bad knees as always. Usually, I see you most weeks, and I'm very appreciative that you are here. So we've got an exciting one. So Dirty Deeds is back. It seems like as an ongoing series. This is just number one. So I'm not sure if this is just a limited series. Seems like this is going to be an ongoing. Of course, it could be one of those things where if like it doesn't do well enough by after how many issues it's greenlighted for, they could just, pun intended, scrap it. But I honestly don't think that's going to be the case. I think this one is actually going to do well. It's going to justify having a full ongoing series. Of course, we'll share this window right here. Switch over there and the stage. Boom. Dirty Deeds. Already, this launched just like a couple hours ago, I believe. This got like launched while I was at work, probably around like 2 or 3. It's of course about 7 o'clock. So this has been about 4 or 5 hours at this point. And we're already in the 5 figures, of course, $17,000, 480 books sold. This is a pretty typical fare. You got your 4 covers. And we'll have, let's see, we'll open up Dirty Deeds in there, and then we'll go over the covers pretty soon. You got your signed and graded, of course. I went for the book pack and the cover C signed and graded. I cannot afford. I wish I could afford the I want it all. I can't even justify. Oh, I basically am spending the money. This month, man, has been just like in the red. Like I'm just pulling money from savings just to buy. Of course, even the budget I'm spending on gifts, but whatever. It's the end of the year. Going to have a blowout next month. Hopefully, it will be a little bit better where I can actually save some money. But, anyways, that is enough about the state of my finances. Are going to go into chat here. So Garfield saying the best cover for him is surprisingly not Kanan this time for me. Yeah, Evan Scale is a fantastic artist, and he does cover A. So I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not surprised to choose him as your favorite for the color for the cover. I ought to say. Mike has bad knees. Got the cover. Well, cover A. Got all of them, of course, because that's just me. Evan Scaled as well, blending the anime and Western styles. Yeah, December's always a red month. Mike has bad knees is saying, yeah, because I'll be like traveling. Well, yeah, I'll be going on like a trip, so I'm gonna have to spend like a day at like an inn. Like I made my laptop again. That's a whole thing. I might have to get like my bed sheets have like a hole in them. My sister got them for me like in the summer, so I might get some like new like cotton bed sheets for myself because I want to get like I don't want to get freaking toxic bed sheets or anything like that. Like yeah, sure I could go to Walmart and get like a cheapo like polyester, but like the off gassing. That's like the one thing that like I want to like try and keep clean because you spend a third of your life on the bed. So the less like toxins there are in the life, the better. But yeah, it's kind of freaking like they're nice linen sheets. I washed them once and they started like, I guess deteriorating a little bit because my house is covered in like blue threads and stuff. And I guess like they're kind of falling apart. I feel bad, but I don't want to make my sister say, because I think I messed up by putting in for the wash or whatever. So I would rather just, front up the cash, buy some nice ones, but it'll be something like at the end of the month, once I stop bleeding, everything, then, yeah, I'll consider doing that, but we'll see. We shall see on that one. That's neither here nor there. Again, my state of my personal life, but yes, actually, but yeah, tomorrow. So yeah, Garfield saying I'm going to be leaving the stream early today, heading out to Outer Pangea. I'm not sure if it's like a game reference or something like that. I kind of want to do a bit of a shorter stream today. I know, this is an exciting one, Dirty Deeds. But I want to get the Braxcast filmed tonight because I want to hike Mount Tecumseh. So it's the shortest there's 48 mountains in New Hampshire that are 4,000 feet or above. Tecumseh is the shortest. It's technically 3,997 feet, not 4,000 feet, but it's considered a 4,000 footer because, it's like 3 feet off. Well, 6 feet tall. I'm 6'1". So it'll be like, 4,003 feet up in the air. basically. But yeah, it's winter hiking. So I got my snowshoes. I got my balaclava. I got my winter jacket. I got my gloves. But I'm gonna I want to leave like 5 a.m. because it's like an hour and a half drive because it's like the south of the White Mountain National Forest. Um, and there's a bunch of mountains there. I think that's where Mount Washington is. There's like Ocella, Monadnock's not there, which I did. I posted about it on Twitter, but I deleted the pics. Yeah, 4,000. I laugh at you in Colorado. Yeah, I know Colorado. I mean, those are the Rockies. Those are really mountainous, right? Those got to be like 6 to 8,000 footers, right? And that's the typical one. But yes, this is more not the Adirondack. I think it's the Adirondacks. This is the mountain range. But anyways, hills are beautiful up here, man. Hills are absolutely beautiful up here, especially in the North Country. So I'm in southern New Hampshire. Oh yeah, 14,000 feet. So yeah, the 6,000 footers are babies, right? So American Texan Reads was on John Longbox a few days ago. Excellent conversation. Yeah, I like American Texan. I know he always catches the replays of these streams. Because he's a family man. I'm sure for like Friday nights he's actually doing stuff with his family. Doesn't have time to be watching me. But anyways, yeah, so Dirty Deeds. Yeah, 6,000 is the flat area, is what Mike is saying. Yeah, so 6,000 feet, that's Mount Washington. It's the tallest mountain in this state. I think it's the tallest mountain in like this region of the country is Mount Washington. And it's pretty famous. It's pretty well known. But that's one that like I was kind of getting like working myself up to maybe I should hike Mount Washington in the winter because that would be fun. But I've been advised against doing that. And I'll probably not, but I would love to do Mount Washington in the winter. I'm not even sure if they'll let you because of how dangerous it is. It was pretty dangerous in October, but now like this is shaping up to be a pretty brutal winter because there was a point where like it was 0 degrees, especially up north where Mount Washington is. Like it's consistently getting into the negatives. So probably at February, we'll be dealing with like negative temperatures in like the southern portion of the state. Like it's going to be a brutal winter. Because like it's basically like winter temperature back where I was in New York, like how it would be like January into February. And it's not even winter yet. We're like 9 days until the solstice. It's only going to get worse, man. It's only going to get colder. Gotta freaking tape the windows shut because they're too drafty. Because the windows in this apartment are not the best. It's a decent place, but the windows are not the best. But anyways, enough about the status of me becoming an icicle. We're going to go into Dirty Deeds, of course. This is going to be going on for about 50 days, fulfilling in Q1 2026. So we're going to get a lot of stuff at the beginning of next year because basically there's been so much stuff that's been launching, and we still need Salvage and Sersha because those are supposed to be on the docket. Now, here's the thing. I explicitly do not mind them delaying it into next month, into February, because I honestly, please do that, guys. My freaking wallet, unless of course I win the Rippaverse and I get that $1,000 store credit, man. That's actually going to help me out so much with this. It's been really snowing on the East Coast here. It's been warm and dry. Well, I'm glad. But yeah, so a couple weeks ago we got like a foot or so of snow. I got a bit of a dusting like the next weekend. So like last weekend, I just got out of outside. My car's covered in snow, so I got to brush it off and go driving. And it's also been like it kind of like was like freezing rain, so it rained a little bit and then it went right back to freezing. So like so much of the ground is just covered in ice. Like I took out the trash in my slides and I'm like slipping all over the freaking place, man. I like it, but at the same time it's like it's so cold. But sleep quality improves because I don't have the heater on when I go to bed at night. So I wake up, it's freezing cold, which is nice because you're supposed to sleep like in a really cold room. But it also just makes me not want to get out of bed. I was freaking man, I wasted so much time. I didn't go to the gym this morning because I was just too cold. And I got in bed, I was just huddled watching videos on my phone. Gotta stop doing that nonsense. But anyways, Dirty Deeds. So this is the Motley crew returning. This is Chaos Has a Price, and the crew of the Dirty Deeds pays it daily when a wormhole strands free lost human or human, yes, astronauts in their path, the galaxy's most wanted misfits race through star rings, hunted sectors, and impossible odds return them home in this pulse-pounding 56-page sci-fi adventure written by Carol Brown with art by Evan Scale. So this is the original team that did the short story for Ripazine number 4. And of course, everybody basically loved it. If you go on the week where that was fulfilled to us, or I got it the week that I had read it. I was talking with Edwin Boyette. This is a couple months ago. I think this is before I moved to New Hampshire. Spingy for Rippaverse MVP. I'm disappointed, supremely disappointed. I think everybody. I speak on half of the community when I say this. No Spingy plushie, guys. What is that? We have a Bloodroof plushie. And sure, we like Bloodroof. She's cool. She's a cool character. But no Spinchy plushie? Really? I'm reconsidering my support of the Rippaverse. And I got an email actually that I could get like 25% off on the Immortal tier for the animation, fund. Like the $5,000 would only cost me $37.50, which is still ridiculous, and I'm not doing it, guys. I did the $100, and I got that for $75, which is pretty cool. But I'm not doing the $1,000 or the $5,000 tier, even though they would send me both statues. Which, again, I already own both of the statues because they gave me that code because I've spent over $5,000 at the Rippaverse. And sad thing is, man, that's not an accurate way to depict it. It's over 10. I have a problem. But I did it all from like no debt or anything like that. I had more room in the budget. And it's still a bit ridiculous how much money I spent on this, but I don't know. It's been fun. I really got into this, and like doing Braxcast means that like I have to get all the covers. It kind of makes me feel that way. And also it's just a hobby at this point. So it's not like the worst thing in the world, but like at some point, it's like if I want to have a financial future, really probably shouldn't have done all this Rippaverse stuff, man. Because I could have that like sweet 10K sitting in the bank, man. I could be like, could put it in my IRA. I could be earning interest off of it. It could be part of my emergency fund, even though I have a decent emergency fund. Like, I got enough where, if I was gone for a couple of months, or I couldn't work or I was out of work for a couple of months, then I'd be okay. And I could always get a job at like Amazon or something like that. Probably pretty easy. I'd hate it, but I could do something. I could go back to work at nights to get the money rolling in. But anyways, let's see. Yeah, that was my issue too. I had both statues, so it didn't make sense to do it. I just like to be immortalized, but I'm not quite rich enough to justify it. It's exactly how I feel. Like I physically have the money, but it's just so much of the cash I have on hand. And it's like I don't feel like liquidating my taxable brokerage in Robinhood, which is not even enough to cover it. Let's see. What are you saying? Do you regret buying so many books? I wouldn't say regret. It's like it's just such a large dollar amount that I think like, am I being financially irresponsible with like how much I've spent over the 2.5 years it took me to get to like 10K. And I kind of feel like that, even though like I'm in a decent spot financially. It's just like if I was spending so much on comic books, I know I could be like more of a stingy miser and just like save the money. It's nice to have the collection though. Yeah, you only need one book. Yes, I know I actually I don't need any of the books. Didn't need any of the posters. Like I could have just not bought all this stuff. It's all optional for me. Right. But like I wanted to. And again, I was in the mindset of like I want to be this super hardcore collector. I still do with this because like I do the Braxcast Coupe du Jour. I'm not sure if you're aware, but I like to get all the covers and physically show them off. And I feel like at this point like I'm kind of doing a service because Merc Q, if I'm getting his name correctly, he featured me on one of his videos, and it's like I watched Joker's video of him covering the concept art book, and that was that's how he found out about the husband and wife team in Chasing Ghosts. I forget their names. Their names are escaping me right now. But he did a really good video. Like check that out. And he used like he watched my Braxcast episode where I went over the concept art book for Saints and Sinners. I'm like, wow, people get value from what I do from Braxcast, at least a little bit. I'm sure part of that is the fact that I show off all the covers. Of course, I can't get all the signed and graded covers. I can't do that. I don't care about the covers. The story is most important. Yes, no, I'm aware for most people that's how it is, right? You can just get the cheapest cover, read it, enjoy it, and you don't have to do that. But like, I'm different. I'm going at this from a different perspective, like the hardcore collector perspective, right? If all I wanted to do, again, and this is not how I operate for most things. Like when I read Battle Beast, I just go to the comic book shop and I just get whatever cover there is, right? And for most books that I back, I just get one cover. Like when I do Common America, I don't get all the covers. I just get whatever cover is either cheapest, or I just pick one. And then the same thing with like Phenomenova, which I backed. I did the free pack because I needed to catch up on all three, but I'm not going to try and get like every variant cover or anything like that. I didn't do that with like Heroic Tales or anything like that. It's just again, that's how I am for most things. But Rippaverse, I got it on the ground floor, and I just really like having all the covers. Right? It's a point of pride for me. But again, it's not sure like how long I can do this for. I might not be able to justify for absolutely everything. Like I kind of currently do, and of course December is where so much money goes out. But next month, it's one of those weeks where there's 5 Fridays, 5 paychecks instead of 4. Got a little bit of extra money coming in. Of course, there'll be the tax return situation where I did work overtime this year, and I've been getting retroactively the tax break on that. Might be a little bit, might have a bit of a tax return coming to me, which I basically usually do. So might be some money coming in where like usually if I always get money in with a tax return, I just file it like sometime in February, because if I'm going to get a refund, I've never had to like owe. So if I don't have to pay, which hopefully Lord willing I won't, then just file earlier rather than later. But if you have to pay, then wait till the 15th of April, because let's see. I get it. Lone Wolf and Cut is reissuing the series in hardcover format. $50 is a stretch, and I want it so bad. Yeah, I can understand. Like when you're invested in something, like when you're a big fan of something, you want to get all those sweet covers and deals. But if it's for stuff you already read and just like a reprint, I kind of understand it not going for that. Let's see. There we go. So again, but we're talking about Dirty Deeds. So of course, cover A. We'll go over the covers now because let's actually talk about Dirty freaking Deeds, and we'll actually. So this is cover A. This is of course by Evan Scale. This is featuring the Motley Crew. I think Rinlin is probably my favorite character. Of course, this is just fantastic art. Gotta love this logo here. You gotta love this like sci-fi landscape here. I believe all these characters have been covered on Dokubon cards. But yeah, I forget their names are kind of escaping me because it was such a short introduction. I remember Rinlin for 2 obvious reasons. Come on. Oh man. But this I keep messing up the sizing of the window. Apologize, guys. But anyways, this is a fantastic cover. And this is Evan Scale's cover. He's the interior artist for this book. He's also the colorist. So he's doing all of the art, which is a really cool thing. And I just loved Dirty Deeds. Let's see. Sci-Fi looks manager-ish. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but this is sci-fi. In the sense that it's science fiction. It could be, not like the typical sci-fi that you like, and if the style doesn't jive with you, that's okay. But to me, this is sci-fi, and I was like 99% manga-ish. Well, manga can be sci-fi. I mean, like there's a lot of sci-fi stuff in Dragon Ball, and there's a lot of you can have like sci-fi, and I like sci-fi anime, like Darling in the Franxx is basically a sci-fi. So Chronic Lore is asking if this is a limited series or an ongoing. I haven't gotten, and let's see, he's talking about Elf Quest. So yeah, but Chronic Lore is asking if this is a limited series or an ongoing. I've got no idea if it is limited or ongoing. I mean, to me, this seems like it is most likely an ongoing series because it's just number one, and it doesn't have a subtitle. Of course, Great War of Separation was marketed from the onset as being a limited series because of what it is. It's basically one contained event. You've got like Norfolka, it's called Norfolka Glorious Death, and that was again very much explicitly told as a I don't Mike has bad news saying DM Carol and ask if she wants to join. We'll see if I can even get her on the DMs, man. I don't have access to her on the DMs, man. I'm not Hector. I'm not Zalen. I can't I can't get it. This is assuming that she even let's see wants to, but I can't see where she would. Let's see if I can do. What am I doing? So, but anyways, we'll go over cover B, and you can't really do cover B justice because this is a version wraparound cover. This is done by Kanan White and Marcos Martins. Of course, this is fantastic art. You could cosplay Hector. I mean, theoretically, I could. Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you, Zayd. You have a good show as well if you're live streaming tonight. Coop de Jour says, was the short story open ended? I would definitely say so. The short story definitely like it's a satisfying like beginning, middle, and end. Carol structures are a really good story, but when you read that, I highly recommend you pick up Ripazine #4 or you get the Ripazine Omnibus. If I'm pretty sure you can still get that, even though the campaign or the collection closed for that. Excuse me. But I would highly recommend reading that short story because one, it's really good. And two, when you read that, you realize that like this #1 is completely justified because there's a lot of stuff going on in the world of the Motley Crew, I believe was what they're called, Dirty Deeds, that would you would really want to be explained. Yeah, but Chronic Lore is saying I could cosplay Hector. I probably could. It's just like getting like all the gear like printed out, like making a good cosplay costume. I've got what it costs like an insane amount of money. And again, and as we've established, let's see, character in white looks new. Okay, but as we've established, I'm broke basically, or at least I feel like I'm broke. I don't know if her DMs are open, but she's super nice. Okay, let's go and see if the DMs are open because I no that's yeah, it's someone Ribbisen did they did let's see, her DMs are open. I'll say, talking. You guys can hear the clack of my freaking feeds if you wanna join. Control, no, copy, There we go. Boom. I her DMs were open. Mike has bad knees. Who knows if she'll respond? If she wants to, that's perfectly okay. If she doesn't, that's as acceptable as well. But anyways, regardless, we'll go back to doing the covers. And let's see. There we go. 5 new characters on that cover, and you're calling God. What? I'm calling. Let's see. Oh yeah. So this is probably are you talking about like this character right here where I'm circling, but this is probably one of the human astronauts. And then of course you've got probably these are probably the astronauts here. It's a late notice. Ooh, it's a late notice, but if you don't ask, the answer is always going to be no. Yeah, no, I agree. It's just that like I had a bit of. I mean, I've had a bit. I'm having a bit of an off existence. So like I'm just like barely holding it together, man. So I wasn't thinking of like, oh, let me go and send her an invite and do all that. And she could be busy. Carol equals God because it's her characters. I never implied that she was a god, man. I'm saying that she's a good writer in that you read Ripazine #4, and that one is a good story, and two, you realize that there's a lot going on in this universe that you would like to have explained, which is why I think the ongoing series is justified. I didn't make her I'm says that I don't know exactly coupe du jour, exactly what you're trying to get at. But like, if I'm coming off as like combative or anything, I apologize. But my point is that I think Kara is a good writer, and I think she, based on reading Represent #4, that she is justified in having this series, and that's the consensus that the community has really come to. I'm saying she's God. Okay, I think Carol's very nice. She's lovely. She does a lot for the Rippaverse. That might be a bit of an exaggeration. Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, she can do what she wants, right? With her story, it is her story, and I think she's going to do a good. I think she's going to do a good job. So I wasn't like saying that she couldn't. But anyways, this is the one done by Brow Aguar. I can't even freaking say that correctly, but this is the foiled embossed cover. I'm getting this as signed and graded because, of course, this is the foiled and embossed. Um, this is a nice one. I always love these shots. This, of course, I believe Rinlin is her name. She's got like the psychic powers, and of course, she's like this, voluptuous elven lady. Just very nice. I'm only saying that because she created the character. It's my fault. Yeah, no, it's okay. I get the analogy you're using now, Cookie Shore. Like you're not like making her like a literal deity. You're saying like in this context, like she's the god of her universe, which that makes sense. 100% makes sense. And I, was saying, yeah, no, she can do what she wants, and I think it's interesting. But yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting story. I love the like the lightheartedness, because I was looking at the box book pack, excuse me, and it was like going like cover A. It's like Dirty Deeds crew running from trouble that they most likely caused, in parentheses. I'm like, oh man, so funny. But yeah, so 56 pages. This seems to be like a lot of their books, or we're talking about Rippaverse in general, seems to be that 56 page mark. And I think that's a pretty good one. She has Fic Fies. Yes, this is what we in the industry call Thunder Fies, and I approve, man. I approve, man. As I'm a enjoyer of the female form. I wouldn't say unfortunately, but it's like like MC Hammer, you can't touch this. Duh, 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 duh. I'm gonna get copyright struck. But that's the way I feel about everything. Oh, not everything, but it's basically whenever I look at an attractive woman, it's like, yeah, I like that. I find it beautiful and tantalizing, and it's probably one of the best things God ever made was the female form. But it's like you can't ever really have that, man. Because no woman's going to give me the time of day. Which is okay, and honestly, that's the correct thing to do when you're talking to me. Very self-deprecating of me. But anyways, but it's like, oh man, I can appreciate it. I've definitely spent enough time torturing myself over it. But regardless, it's definitely a nice thing, the female form. So I'm not going into like moving on. Yes, we're moving on. Moving on. To cover D. So we're going to do full screen layout, and this is done by Igor Texera, and of course colored by Marcos Martins, who's done a lot of coloring for the Rippaverse, and this is going to be the mass print cover, and it looks fantastic. One of the things I like is that it seems like there's a space shuttle, so these human astronauts probably are human, which is a really interesting thing for me. So I'm like, I don't say scandalized, but I really think that like Earth is going to play a role in this, especially like we see the space shuttle like here. But this definitely looks like the space shuttle. I had like when I went back home for Thanksgiving, I had this like little model, like this metal model of a space shuttle, because the space shuttle was like, of course, the space shuttle, like, I think people remember the Challenger back in the 80s, because that's the one that like blew up because they had the freaking frozen O-ring or whatever. But the space shuttle was still like a thing being used when I was a kid and growing up. So that was like the cool thing with NASA. Like you saw like it on the orange booster, and it would just fly up, and it was like reusable. Like you could see it like land down. But yeah, it's discontinued. But like it was in service while I was a kid growing up in like elementary school. I have I love the design of the space shuttle. That's all I'm saying. So I've always found it to be very cool. The fact that like they're showing using the space shuttle. I think the only thing that I think is cooler in terms of like planes would be the Blackbird, like the SR-57 Blackbird. If I can find a picture of it, Blackbird, because like you play like the original Black Ops, no Blackbird SR, oh SR-71, excuse me. But yeah, the SR-71 Blackbird. Now let's see if we can get a good like shot of this. Yeah, the SR-71. No. But actually, the SR-71 Blackbird is cool. But what I had as a kid, I remember this is the B-52 like stealth bomber. Yes, we're talking. Yes. This one. I had open image and new tab. I had a model of this plane. Right. This is what I love this. Like the SR-71 Blackbird, you have the mission in Black Ops where you're like, not really piloting it, but that was a cool mission in Black Ops. But like the B-52 stealth bomber, which I think they actually still use this. There's a lot of like how wicked cool it is. But I just love the design of this. Like it just looks so cool. Again, this is definitely like a very like this is a boy moment here. Like I have a favorite plane. Like again, this is something that like I remember seeing a tweet. It's like, ladies, ask your man what his favorite plane is. He's going to have an answer. And this would be my answer is the B-52 bomber. Like it's either the space shuttle, the B-52 bomber, or the SR-71 Blackbird. Those are probably my three favorite planes. And of course, planes are cool. Only planes I've been, like 747s and Airbuses, but yeah, that's what Mike has bad knees. The B-52 is still used. They used it to bomb Iran. I knew they used it to bomb, like do a bombing, like recently, and it was Iran. Yeah, because there was that Iranian bombing, which of course is par for the course. Happens all the time. So yeah, I mean, I don't like them when they use it, but I just think it's cool. It looks super cool. And like I said, I had a model of these when I was a kid. Of course I would as an American boy, because like I'm supposed to have like this as a kid. And then when I grow up, let me sign up for the Air Force so I can bomb the Iranians and drive the cool B-52 bomber. Because that's what they want from me. B2, the B-52 is a different one. Oh, B2 is a different B-52. I believe this is the B-52, but we can. Okay, well, what are we doing? I'm supposed to be talking about Dirty Deeds, the B2. Yeah, so the B2 is a bit like, it seems to be like a bit sleeker of a plane. But yeah, I mean, it does seem to be very similar, but like B2, B-52. But yeah, these are definitely like really cool looking. Of course, you got your Apaches. Let's see. I was about to say that it was a B2, but either B2, B-52, whatever one of these, I'd have to search up the exact difference. I was in the Air Force for 21 years. I know what I'm talking. Okay, I will defer to you, Mike, that you know what you're talking about. But yes, this is the B2, not the B-52. Is there the B? Oh no, but I don't want to say B-52. Oh yes, this is the B-52, right? Yes. Okay. But yeah, so this is let's see. I went full screen when I should. There we go. Ugh. Yeah. So yeah, the B2. It's just the B2. So yeah, this is what I remember. And we were at that. But yeah, this is like clearly what I remember. The B2 was the B2 stealth bomber. I guess I just remembered it as the B-52, but it's the B-2. So yes, it's either B-2 stealth bomber, SR-71 Blackbird, or the space shuttle. And again, I thought of this, guys, because of seeing the space shuttle here. So I had like I said, a metal model of a space shuttle. I brought it back with me. Yeah, that's B-52 buff. Yeah, the one I was looking at that, and it seems to be like a bigger one. So yeah, planes are cool. Of course, like you can have like, not the Apache helicopters. I forget, the jets on like, the air carriers, like landing, like that stuff is like, that's cool. Like working on one of those and like flying and landing on stuff like that would be a lot of fun. But of course, like signing up for the military and everything. Like I said, I had that discussion. Let's see, does the ship have a name? Like this ship right here. like the Dirty Deeds ship. I don't believe it does. I mean, it probably does. We just don't know it yet. I imagine that's something that'll be in the first issue. Let's see. Let's see. For the crew of the Dirty Deeds being wanted in half the universe is another day until a rogue wormhole splits free whom and astronauts straight into their paths, lost, scared, and miles from anything familiar. The humans offer the crew something rare, a chance to take them home and lay low. Returning the humans sounds simple, but the star rings that once connected distant civilizations are unstable, guarded, monetized, or willing to fling you anywhere. To even reach the first gateway, the crew must sneak by the Red Sun Federation, avoid bounty hunters, crash a wedding, and outrun their own bad luck. Strap in because aboard the Dirty Deeds, chaos is free of charge. So I think the ship they go on is called Dirty Deeds, and then they're the Motley Crew. Let's see. Was the ship special in any way in the book? It didn't seem particularly. It seemed like a standard ship. Of course, like you ask, yeah. I believe the ship is called Dirty Deeds. So they are the Motley Crew, and I think their ship is called Dirty Deeds. That might most likely seems to be the case. Um, but the whole thing with me is that, and again, this is the beautiful cover date here. Like I said, Igor Texera doing this one. Of course, we're almost at the first mark where this actually gets funded and we're getting trailers, or I should say, the 10 animated short clips. We're less than $6,000 away, which is pretty exciting. About $5,500 actually. Yeah, $5,500. And let's see. I didn't even read the log line, but that's actually a dope premise. yeah, it actually is. Like, again, like this is like a really cool idea. And I love Dirty D's. Like I said, I just love the ethos of Dirty D's, and of course, we'll X out of the B-52 bomber. I was thinking maybe we could play some chess and talk about Dirty D's, but that's might be an insane thing for me to do. But anyways, of course, coming in with a shirt, coming with a poster. You're getting an Arad poster. I've got plenty of posters already, and like I said, I didn't opt for that. I wanted to get the I Want It All, but I couldn't pull that much out of savings to justify it. I mean, I could, but it's just too much money with how much I have to spend on. No freaking thank you. I love that shirt. Yeah, the Dirty Deeds shirt, team shirt is really cool. But like I have so much Rippaverse merch already, I don't necessarily need it. So like I said, I didn't opt for the I Want It All. I was actually tempted on that poster. Yeah, it's a cool poster. I've got plenty of cool posters. These 3 posters I got behind me are not even like the beginning. Because I've got like a Great War Separation poster. I got my Zalen poster, and someone I forget. I would want to see who was talking about. Let's see. Do do do. Someone was saying not feeling Zalen with a short story. Um, it's somewhere up in the chat. Or was But anyways, for me, Zalen's book was great. I love Zalen When Kills Must Die. I want more Zalen. But someone's saying that Dirty D's needs more, like justifies having a full length book, but Zalen did. I think they both do, but that's just me as a Rippaverse super fan. But anyways, do you guys want me to play some chess while we talk about Dirty D's? Because I kind of want to play a game of chess. And you guys can see how much I suck at chess. Vote in the chat. I think I honestly can make a poll. Engage with the audience. Start a poll. Should I play chess? Let's see. Oh yes, I forgot to say we got Ram in the chat. Hopefully you're doing well. This is, I know the Catholics, they call it Advent. Call it the Nativity Fast. Hopefully you're having good Advent. Let's see. Anyways, I did put the poll in the chat. So everyone's saying no. That's disappointing. Play Arc. I don't have Arc Raiders. I know people have been saying that's a good game, but I don't have Arc Raiders. I'd have to buy it and install it. So no, I won't do it. I don't feel like dropping $40. So let's see here. We've got, oh no. I've got one yes and two no's. So one person saying yes, two people are saying no. You get one more vote yes, it would be 50-50. Yeah, and I can't vote. So it seems like most likely no. But the posters in the background go all yeah, like I said, I had bought so many I wanted all that I had collected a so many posters. I kept them in their tubes until I moved into this apartment and I got a bunch of frames and I hung them all up, which is why I don't need any more. Like again, I have so many posters, I don't need more posters. And because like I never got the I Want It All packs for the posters. I got it for the CGCs and the book packs. Um, if I vote yes, will you play anything but chess? I want to play chess, man. So if you vote yes, then I'm going to play chess. Okay. Um, if that's well, I would say if that's okay with you, I'm going to do what I want, man. Because I mean I could just play chess, right now. Like because we got it here right here. I could let's see if do the full screen right actually here. I could just go and we can always talk about Rippaverse because chess is a very casual game. Um so like I'm not casual in the sense that like are the chess pieces anime? Honestly, guys, let's just do it. I know two of you guys voted no, but you'll see this is not it's not animated, so it doesn't go like this. So let's see. I'm white, so I go first. We do a very typical opening, and then then we can most likely play symmetrically. Yes. Oh, not exactly symmetrically, but this is called you can call this like a free nice opening. But though the pieces aren't animated, so it's very boring. But chess is fun. So again, you're going to move the bishop here. And honestly, we could just keep on playing symmetrically. Um, yeah, so that's what we do. And I'm gonna okay. And let's see if I let's see. Let's see. Hopefully the pieces call out their attacks. They don't. So can be like I can say pawn to e3. But yes, this is Dirty Tease is going to be a lot more fun than me playing chess. And again, really excited to have a Dirty Deeds series. This seems like it's going to be an ongoing series. Of course, 56 pages is going to be probably about like two-ish issues of what would be a typical monthly. And Evan's a great artist, so I'm glad he's getting the work. But of course, now we've got all the knights developed. This is called developing pieces. Of course, this is called pinning. So the knight is now pinned to is pinned, can't move because if it moves and it puts in checks, and you can't do a move where you put your king in check, so it would be an illegal move. So that's why it's called pinning. Of course, what black should do in this situation is kick. So you see taking this a pawn from a7 to a6 would kick the bishop, and I move down. It's a very typical thing to do when you play this. And CJ saying, can't wait for Dirty Deeds, probably my favorite of the Ripazine stories. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I would probably say Salvage is my favorite of the Ripazine stories, which is why I'm really excited for Salvage Lethal Force. But I'd say Dirty Deeds is probably like, honestly, I'd have to say it'll go Salvage, Catch and Kill, because that was such a good one. And then we've got then Dirty Deeds. Oh, okay, that's not exactly. That's a decent move. So you see, with putting the bishop here, you can take again, it's the same thing. It's symmetrically. But since I've got it protected and black's got it protected, it doesn't really do all that much. Now, of course, we're going to castle. So, and then he castles as well. So we're playing basically. This is called playing symmetrically, which is fun. Anyways, you see what I can do here, what I ought to do here, and of course, neither of these knights are pinned anymore, but they still are protected, because we both castled, and that got us out of the pin. But yeah, again, he could take this, right? So let's see. So he could definitely take knight could definitely take, but then that becomes an even exchange of material because a knight and a bishop are both worth 3 points. Pawns are worth 1. 2. The rook is worth 5. The queen is worth 9. So if you have 2 rooks and you lose them both, you're losing 10 points. But if you lose 1 queen, then you lose. Okay, yeah, that's a typical. So we're finally making our first exchanges. Boom. And like I said, even exchange of material. So let's see. You should play a trap card. This isn't freaking Yu-Gi-Oh, man. And like I was pinning to my pin. It's not Yu-Gi-Oh. But we'll do this one game and then we're done. Okay, yeah, moving to get out of the way, which is actually a pretty good thing. And I could like, but I'm not going to do that. That would be a really dumb move of me, but we're going to do that. Of course, you can take there. So we can do that. Oh, ooh. So yeah, that was but yeah, I can actually just do that, and that was a free night, basically. Yeah, that was a free night. So that was not a good move. But he went for it. Why would that be a dumb move? Are you just talking about like this move? Because what Black did was that he took a pawn, but he left his light hanging, and my bishop takes it. And again, that's what you don't want to do that. So again, what I can do here is I move the bishop, and of course this bishop threatens it, but it's not hanging because I can have it. If he takes my bishop, then I can just retake it. Or Tau Isabel, if she takes my bishop, I ought to say. So again, when you're playing chess, you never want to do a move where your piece is left hanging, and you never want to take a piece where the piece is left hanging, and you're doing it to take a piece of lesser material. So that one pawn, he gets 1 material off of me, but I get 3. So you can see, I'm not sure if you can see it, but I can see it very clearly. It says that I'm up by 2. So since I've taken 2 knights and he's taken 1 bishop, 1 pawn, and 1 knight, I have the material advantage right now. So like I'm actually technically winning this game, which is really weird. Doesn't usually happen. But that's why it's a dumb move. So he left his piece hanging, and he did it, and he left his piece hanging to take a piece of lesser value. Just a simple pawn. So that's the high and low of it. But we'll see what Black decides to do. Now, I didn't doing chess on Duolingo, but like a lot of his stuff, like I kind of already know. Okay, but that's a okay move. Of course, we can just do this, get control of the center. And if you take like that, then I could just take like that. So again, this is like a very nice double protection. Absolutely love it. And of course, I mean, I probably should have like moved my pawn to a3, kicked that bishop. But we could always go ahead and do that. Are you playing against AI? I'm not. I'm playing against supposedly I'm playing against a real person. We'll see. I'm not sure if this is actually a real person, but this is a matchmaking. So I'm playing against someone who's a real person, supposedly. So yeah, okay. So we got a queen here, right? So you can take. I mean, its queen goes ahead and takes that. It's no skin off my back to just take the bishop. Because if you take like that, then I can just basically move the knight here and get it under control. And then even if, let's say, okay, you see, that's a good one. Oh, and you're putting knight in check. So let's see here. We can move there. So that's a good move. It's a decent one. But of course, if you take either of these pieces, then you're just putting yourself in a good position. So let's see here. What is the best move here? Actually, there we go. Because I'm threatening the rook. See, so now let's say, actually, no, that was a dumb move. There's always one. I don't look at the entire board. F5. Yeah, f5 actually would have been the better move here. Coup de jour. Because I always like, yeah, you see, there you go. It's such a dumb move. You see, that was a dumb move because I left my I left my knight, I left my bishop hanging. So I basically gave a free piece away. But we're basically even at this point, so it's not too bad. But f5 would have been the best move here, and I'm going to make it. And it puts me at that material advantage once again. Um, so yeah, but that's the move I should have done. That is a move I should have done instead of like going for that. But I don't look at the entire board. I need to look. So these are called fianchettos, these diagonals, these longer diagonals. I wasn't looking at that bishop. So you got to look at the entire board, which is the thing you never do. And this is why I lose so many games. But of course, I'm also doing this live. So I'm just like, what am I doing? But yes, hopefully you guys, I know like two of you, I guess we're at like 60-40 now. So like still most of you don't want me to be doing this, but I just did it anyway. But like this is still fun, guys. So I'll play this. We'll talk about Dirty Deeds a little bit more, and then we'll end it because, like I said, I want to go hiking tomorrow. I want to get up early, so I want to record the episode of Braxcast, get it edited, hopefully be in bed before 10, God willing. But yes, I mean we can still okay. So moving there is decent. Oh yeah, let's do that. No, we're not doing that. Let's see here. But yeah, we'll just kick the we'll just kickity. But of course. So yes, here we go. And honestly, in this situation, yeah, D7. You're saying D7. I don't know why you're suggesting D7. So, well, are you talking about moving my bishop to D7? I don't exactly know what that would do. Because I got this knight right here being threatened. So again, because I think honestly moving the queen to D3. Yeah, so this doesn't do anything. Moving the bishop to D7 doesn't do anything. D4. Oh yeah, D4. Well, D4. I mean, D4 is a similar thing. But yeah, I mean, D4 does put me. Yeah, so this one is honestly a better move. Either D3 or D4. I was thinking D3, but D4 is it's a better move because let's say you take that. You playing checkers, Joker? I'm playing the game. This is chess, but I feel like I'm playing checkers. Or I might have. I'm so bad at chess. I might as well be playing checkers. But yes. Let's see. Anyways, but we'll see what the move is going to, what the response is going to be. But yeah, no, I love chess. Chess is a good game. My dad taught me how to play chess, and I played it when I was in the chess club in elementary school. It was like over this is like 20 something years ago at this point. And I'm at that point. Like I'm getting close to 30 where stuff is 20 years ago was like, yeah, I was doing stuff back then. But I don't know, man. I'm still decently young. I kind of wish I was I feel like I'm 10 years older than I actually am. And I kind of wish I was 10 years older. I feel like I don't know, my life would be better. But that's a weird. Okay, yeah, actually that's not. Let's see. So we're gonna move here because my queen was kicked. Queenie got kicked. Yeah. Of course, the best thing to do would be to move right here. And once again, kick the queen. Yes, that's what you're doing. So Queenie gets kicked. Merc Lounge is asking what's going on here. I'm playing chess, but of course, Dirty Deeds, and of course, Merc Q Lounge. Thank you for featuring me in that video. I very much appreciate it. Rook C1. No. Coup de jour. No, I'm not doing, because if I do Rook C1, I'm giving my queen away. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is you want to prioritize not having the queen kicked. So this is the move to make once again because it protects the queen, also does not leave the knight hanging. So oh yeah, no man, no problem. But yeah, still appreciate that a lot. But yeah, so we are talking about dirty deeds while I was playing chess, although most of you people said I shouldn't play chess. I got like 4 people. Nobody wants me to play chess. A couple people do, but I wanted to play chess. So I'm just doing one game, guys. And then, like I said, we're going to talk about dirty deeds a little bit more, and then we'll finish it back up. But I know, maybe what I ought to do at one point, like on a random weeknight, is just say, hey, let me live stream playing some chess, so that way, like it's a chess playing stream instead of like me doing Braxcast and then just shoving chess into it, which I can understand you guys not liking it. You do awesome work covering what's in the concept art books. Yeah, I appreciate that. I got Norfolka, the Norfolka concept art book, so look forward to that. It's not going to be this week; it's going to be next week. So I believe this week is going to be episode 92, so 93, if I'm getting my things correctly, my numbering correctly. The Norfolka concept art book I'm going to be reading and reviewing. So I'm going to get that out of its bag and board, and we're going to be going over that. So look forward to that one. I love doing those, and that's how I read through all the art books, is actually like taking it and doing that. So actually I go into it blind, which I think is the best way to do it. And that's usually like the time, like I said, I crack it open, I read it. It's fantastic stuff. G2 to H3. So let's see. Basically, Koopy George trying to play the game for me. I appreciate you being invested in this. So G2, there's no character. I don't have a piece on G2. So this is G. Well, actually, I know G2 to H. Well, I can't go G2 to H3. But I do have a pawn on G2, but I could only move it to H3 or H4. But let's see, what was the move? So you put this, put that piece there. But anyways, actually, no, I wouldn't do that. But I would. No, I wouldn't, because I wouldn't move this knight. Because if I move the knight, then I'm basically getting a free piece. So yeah, what we can do is move this right here, because it gets it out of the way. Yeah, that's the move I'm doing. Yeah, right. You can only attack that. You can only attack diagonally. So pawns can only take diagonally. Of course, there's like en passant, which is a really weird chess move. You can only do it in certain circumstances. But typically pawns can move 2 in its first. So if it's in the second row, it can move up to the 4th row, like how I have the option to do that. Of course, yeah, that was a very typical. Basically, getting that pawn. Basically, what we're going to be doing now is going for a pawn, so we're even on material. And then I would, but you don't want to do this or that. That's what you were thinking. King Fu beats Isom. So is King Fu a Heroic Tales 2 character? Because I need to get around to reading Heroic Tales 2, John. So like I said, I can't. But John always comes in and says that like his characters are better than Rippaverse characters. So that's just his thing. That's his shtick. And of course he's going to be. Of course he's going to be like that, because these characters are his babies, and I have to be here to tell him that he's wrong. Because like again, no one's Mary Sue is not gonna hold a candle to Saoirse or Bloodruth or Altona. Well, I mean Altona probably, but Altona is not an accent. But definitely Yaira. There's no Heroic Tales character that's going to do anything to Yaira, and I could not see the Patriarch winning against Brian Solari, especially Zalen. If you're going to come at me, John, and say that the Patriarch will beat Zalen, that is delusional. I love you, man. You're a nice guy, but that would be delusional if you're going to like unironically say something like that. So yeah, no, we could not be on good terms on that basis. Oh man. Let's see. Oh yeah, so still thinking. Still Towers of Bell still thinking on what the next move ought to be. That was a D. The power sets in long boxes. The power sets in long boxes universe are more interesting. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I need to read Heroic Tales too. But yeah, I mean, I like the first Heroic Tales. It was a good one. But I wouldn't say the power sets are anything, from reading the first issue that like puts it like out of like anything that you wouldn't see in any like typical superhero universe, and that's not a bad thing. It's just it's been a very done genre, and I think John is doing it quite well. Like I said, I need to read Heroic Tales #2. Like it's on the review list. Like I got to get to it. So I'm sorry that I haven't. Um, let's see here. Um, no, we'll leave it hanging. Do. Yeah, so anywhere I move, it's left hanging. So, but um yeah, I move there, it's left hanging. Let's see, but I do have some mega powered beings. Yeah, no, that's cool. So yeah, if you got some mega powered beings that like something that can like someone that can go up against like a Zalan or a Brian Solari, then that becomes a very interesting matchup. So yeah, I'll definitely see what you got cooking because whenever you talk about stuff, you talk about the patriarch only being able to use one power at a time is different. Yeah, I suppose so, but I feel like there are. I mean, I'm not the most well read on comics, so but I feel like there are characters that have limitations with their powers. And in Common America, they can only like power up for like 3 hours or so, in their forms. So I feel like stuff like that has been done where like the character has limitations to their powers. So it's not like, oh wow, that's like groundbreaking and innovative. And again, this is not anything against John. It's just something. Let's see. Also, the Rippaverse heroes aren't that smart. Well, yeah, a lot of them are not, but that's kind of like the charm of the character. Like Horseman's like charm of his character is that he's not the most intelligent, right? And you see that in Welcome to Florence Park. He can only use two powers at once, but he only has two powers. Okay. So let's see. But yeah, it does okay, but that is he can only use two powers at once, but he only has two powers. So he can use all his powers at once, it seems, if I'm getting you correctly. But we're going to move the rook here because it threatens and it is protected. So it becomes an equal exchange of material. But I could have moved there and then moved. Oh, yeah, there we go. Boom. You went for it. That was all part of the master plan. I would love, but yeah, I'm actually getting decently tired. Telekinesis and heightened senses. So telekinesis and clairvoyance. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Cool stuff. So yeah, no, I gotta read Heroic Tales too, and then I'll have a very formed or have more of a formed opinion on the Patriarch. I know John is planning on doing a Patriarch like ongoing series. I'm excited for that based on what I've read. So let's see here. I mean, this is getting like decently close to the end game. Um, yes, we'll move right here. Ugh. Do, 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 do. Boop, boop. Oh yeah, no, that's a good one. Yeah, clairvoyance. Yeah, clairvoyance is not heightened sense. Like clairvoyance is being able to like tell like people's futures and stuff like that. And there actually are people that have It's very rare to have like clairvoyance. Like Saint Paisios had clairvoyance, but there are very few Saint Paisioses that exist. um, I'm certainly not going to be so. Sort of, don't look at me, guys. Don't look at me. I'm not going to be anything like a saint. Definitely not. Um, yeah, let's see. But I was thinking like, oh but the knight isn't hanging. The knight would not be hanging if I did that take. So I'm up material. That was a free bishop, so that's pretty good. So even though I did do that blunder, we're still in a decent position. He can release all 5 senses and send them away. That's pretty cool. Let's see here. We're going to move again. Again, not threatened. Clairvoyance is just being around the block a few times. I don't necessarily think that's what it's like. I mean, a decent chance it could be. But I think it's a bit more than clairvoyance. I think clairvoyance is like a little bit more than that. Let's see. What the? I did not mean to make that. I did not mean to make that move, but that seems to be a very inconsequential move. You can predict the future if you've been there before. I suppose, but I don't think anyone's ever been to the future. Um, that's a bit of a what an odd thing to say, Bart Simpson. But yeah, going for a little bit longer. I decided to play a game of chess. Yeah. But yeah, oh man, like I said, I think, again, it's very easy to cover. We did run through all the covers, went through the log line. But Dirty Deeds, we can check in on Dirty Deeds again. We can go to number one. Actually, it was right there. And it's at 22,620 books sold, which is pretty cool. And the collection's ending on January 30th of 2026, guys, not 2025. January 30th of 2025 already happened, man. And that's this date, not 26, but this date was completely. I was in a very different spot in January 30th of 2025. Although part of me kind of wishes I was back in the past. I kind of, whenever like something happens, like you want to go to your past self and just like convince yourself to do things differently. I kind of would, because I don't know. I feel like if I had gone about things a bit differently on this move, I wouldn't say necessarily things would have been quote unquote better. Um, but oh yeah, check. Oh yeah. Mary Sue is overpowered, but her power is unpredictable, so she doesn't want to use it. Um, the trailer is like 49 seconds long. It doesn't really give us much of an indication, but we can play it after I either lose or win this game. I'm like really uncertain how this game's going to go because you're close to promoting. But he cannot promote right now, or she. Hmm. But we can. Oh, let's see here. Let's see here. Leads. Lead. Uh, this I believe is a decent move. And I'm like, well, why would that be a decent move? Because Bishop is protecting the knight. Going to lose your knight, yes, but if I lose the knight, then I gain a rook. Did you get your copy? I sent a few to your state. Yeah, I got my copy, John. You're talking about New Hampshire, so, but yeah, I did get a few. Did you send like are you talking like Plymouth or Keene, Londonderry, Berlin, Pittsburgh, Stratford? I'm just naming towns in New Hampshire. I didn't want to dox you. Yes. No. Don't worry. Yeah. No, I've talked about being in New Hampshire, but I appreciate you not wanting to dox me. But yeah, I got my copy. In fact, it's somewhere around here. Uh Oh, here we go. And this is a flip book. So this is a classic. I love flip books like this. So boom. New Hampshire. I don't have a hamster. Oh, New Hampshire. New Hampshire. I moved to New Hampshire. Let's see. Cool. Where are you? I'm in the southern part of the state, so I live in the biggest city, which is Manchester. But I'm maybe I shouldn't say that because that's like really doxing me. But yeah, I live in the southern part of the state, which is like I said, southern New Hampshire. Um, Everybody getting free comics. I can't even get what I paid for. I paid for Heroic Tales, so I don't know what you're talking about, man. Let's see here. Um, yeah. Do. And we'll put you in check once again. I'm in Boston/Cambridge. How goes the chess? This is like a game. I'm up free material, Macabre Derek. And we're basically at the end game right now, and I feel like I've got the I'm not sure. Do you know? Oh, your backer number. John is doing live customer service. Let's see. Yeah. So Coupe de Jour is in Boston/Cambridge. So you're probably about like I don't know. It depends. I have to search up where Cambridge, Mass is. If that's like southern Boston, then you're probably more like an hour and a half ish, because Boston's like an hour from me. Um, because yeah, it's about an hour from me. I go to Methuen pretty often, and I'm like 45 minutes from Lowell. So like Methuen, Lowell, Andover, those are the towns. Mass are pretty close to where I'm at. Let's see. Oh, no, I thought it was in stores or something. Let's see. Let's see here. Um, yeah. Oh man, I've got like the. It's just the queen in the knight. Oh, if I could get rid of those. Yeah. Here we go. I move this and kind of. Let's see here. Do. Hmm. I'll move here. Yeah, so hoping to get the book in stores next year would be pretty cool. Glad to hear. Currently trying to figure out how mate from your position. Are you talking about either white or black? Okay, so yeah, now you're retreating, which is a bit odd. Um, let's see. And of course, Macabre Derek is trying to be Stockfish. Um, let's see here. Oh, white. Yeah, I'm playing white. Okay, so we'll see. Um, let's see. I'm trying to figure out how to mate from my position. I just can't seem to figure it out. Let's see here. Actually, now that you've done this, like you've left the Spincetta open, the best move here to do is to, of course, check. No, I'm always incompetent at chess. Trying to learn. Yeah, no, I feel the same way. But we're just doing this. So here we go. And then, of course, I did talk about, like I said, talked about her DDs. We'll play the trailer, and then I'm going to end it here because we've been almost going for like an hour and a half, which is longer than I wanted to go. I wanted to say, let's keep this a short stream because I got to sleep and I want to film the episode of Braxcast. I can just get out of here and go hiking tomorrow. Now it ended up for me. I'll drink some water. I just splashed my face. Oh. Oh yeah, my pasta is getting probably cool. I made some pasta and I'm such a dumbass because I touched the freaking I have a gas stove, so I touched the metal with like freaking bare hand so I could clean the freaking stove because it always gets. You live near King Cryptid. Are you talking about me? There's Double Midnight Comics. That's by me. But if King Cryptid, I'd have to search that up. If it's in like Boston or Northern Mass, then I'm decently close to it. But I'd have to search. I want to watch the beginning of the stream, Joker. See you later. Yeah, you have a good one, RQ. Although I am at the point where I'm playing chess, I'm not sure how. Again, if you like my streams and you like my streams, it's like I'd say it's a typical one. Of course, other than the fact that like I just like everyone basically so many people are like I shouldn't play chess. I got 8 votes and over half you guys said no. I was like, I'm doing it anyway because like I just want to play some chess. But yeah, no, next time I'm not going to do this. The Alterna comic is set in New Hampshire. That's cool. You have to tell me like what town in New Hampshire. Because if it's by the seacoast, decent chance it is. Decent chance I would be close. But it depends on where in New Hampshire. You'd have to give me like the town they're at in New Hampshire, and then I decent chance I could tell you if how close I am. Let's see here. This protects. This simultaneously it doesn't leave the well actually the bishop wasn't hanging because of the queen, but no, it's double not it's not hanging. Yep. And we can go and have this is a what I like to call this is called discovered. This is called discovered check, where you make a move and it has your piece being checked by another piece. So since these pawns have built like such a nice chain, it's very hard to break through this. Boop 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 boop. Da, ba, da, ba, da, ba. I feel like if you move here, oh yeah, that's yeah okay, and then yeah, actually was a decent move. Free night, yeah, it's not a free night. It's not a free night. I'm telling you, it is not a free night because what if black takes my knight, right? Oh, free rook. Yeah. Yeah, but honestly, if we had gone back and if white had moved here, or I should say if black had moved, yeah. So if black had moved to that piece to G8, then I would have moved there. I think that would have been mate. Because if we had the knight here, and that there, then the only free blocks he could go would be places where he'd be in check. So that would have been mate. If he had made that move, I would have done that. But yeah, I definitely am at the advantage right here. So let's see here. Yeah, we'll go and do check. Seems like you guys are still watching me. I'm so shocked by this, even though you guys didn't want this. Hopefully, you guys kind of find this entertaining. I'm still, kind of talking about Rippaverse. Let's see here. If I move, ooh, let's see. Now, ooh. Actually, yeah, this is the move to do. There we go. Checkmate. Yes. I want to see how this ends. And it ended with me winning, guys, because you go. So yeah, here's why. Yeah, here's why this is checkmate. So if you go there, you're in check by the knight, of course. And these are the only other. So basically, every spot that goes and you get moved to, that was checkmate. I'm surprised I won that, guys. I wasn't expecting to win this, but this took 41 moves. So this is a long game of chess. But I won. It was a good sport. Anyways, but that was fun. So as promised, let's watch the Dirty Deeds trailer. Let's see here. If we'll remove and stop screen and share screen. We'll share the tab and we'll add the stage and yeah, so this is like a 49-second trailer, very short. But what I really find interesting here, there we go. No, let's buffer back to that or scrub back to it. This is like Spingy being befriended. Like, I love this. This is a cool scene. So let's see that I definitely like that. So let's see here. Okay, and then we'll X out of that. Okay, so we played for the trailer. Let's see. So Kara's got a chance to impress. Love the art in this. Feels a little more grunge, but I don't want to judge her writing on the short in the Ripazine. Honestly, I think you can and get this indication that she's really good, a really good writer. She just has so much with Dirty Deeds that she didn't have the full chance to really shine. But with 56 pages and what seems to be an ongoing series, she certainly is going to have that opportunity to do so. So like I'm really excited to see what she's intending to do with Dirty Deeds, where she's going to take this, like all the things that are going in her mind, because now she's got that playground. I think it was Scoop de Jour saying, she's the god of her universe, basically. I'm interested to see what she creates. But anyways, guys, over an hour and a half. I know I got derailed. I just I wanted to play a game of chess, even though most of you guys didn't want to. But she still stuck around. Your real ones for that. But yeah, we went through all the covers. We of course watched the trailer for Dirty Deeds. Went through the overview, and I got struck out. Not the Roman Empire this time. It was chess and it was aeronautics, which is a bit. So the tangents and the derailments did happen. They were just things that were not typical for me, which honestly I like that. But anyways, I am going to end it here. Got so much to do tomorrow. Hopefully all goes well. Like Eric is the god of the Rippaverse. They are the creators. Yeah, exactly. I think that's a fantastic place to end it. And I am the god of this live stream, quote unquote, and I am ending it. So hopefully you guys have a good one. I'll be back with Braxcast recorded. They'll be on Saturday as usual. And we'll be doing another episode of Braxcast next week on Friday. Most likely. It seems like how it goes for me. But yes, you take care as well. Macabre Derek, have a good one. But Joker is out.